It was called Stepping Out of the Oven. Chilly night. Those late rides around town. The Nissan Maxima that had an interior with character. Confined within a car feeling free. I just got off the phone. My parents okayed me to spend the night. Remember that moment where I knew the rest of the night was mine to do whatever? Streetlights attacking my corneas. Remember how loud we were? Feet quickly unpacking stress upon the pavement. Quick, get back in the car. We were running. Running away from some thoughtless act of delinquence or another. Running away from our problems. An unspoken truth to this day. Oh, the things that car would see. Haphazardly going from one place to another compulsively. Hoarding others' items, glass globes and geese. The concrete kind. But what would this car say if it could speak to us? Would it tell me I wasn't as free as I thought I was? Would it tell Thomas that his dropout wife of 16 would have a baby with his best friend? Would it warn us that night we brought the goose into the car and it had a wasp nest in it? Would it rev its engine and flash its lights in warning? That night we almost wrecked, but the only thing we gained from the experience was an arsenal of jokes about wasps and how much we fucking hated them. No, we hated ourselves. Every night was a circus and we were in a struggle. A struggle to creatively top the night before. The Oven was its name. That Nissan Maxima. You know, they thought they weren't clever in naming it. They said, it's because we got baked in there. But we did so much more than that. Remember Garrett burning balled up pieces of fuzz from the ceiling? Remember Nick telling us to pull over so he could puke even though he was the only one who wasn't drinking? Remember Thomas's stereo blasting Slim Shady? The subwoofer would pound the vibrations through our bodies, rhyming words and phrases. Kind of feels like deja vu. I want to get away from this place I do. I liked launching things from the windows. Especially glass things. The way I saw myself in them. The way they would escape the cabin and go airborne, scraping skies like glass bottles and plates were never meant to. And just as it reached its peak, the forces of our universe would tear it from the skies and it would go out in a crash, propelling its carcass through the city streets. If this car could speak to us, would it have told me not to worry? Would it have soothed my anxiety to know that in 1 year's time it would all just cease? Despite all the gas burned into the air, despite all the time spent sleeping in the car in that Kmart parking lot or the way back from Warped Tour, despite every time we would drift around a turn and lose control for just a second, and just as we thought we were going to smash into that tree, Thomas would manhandle the wheel like a professional and we would be back on our straight path. The arguments, the tears, manic stoner laughter. That time we fit 10 people in it, 2 in the trunk. All things that meant nothing separately. Tiny dots on an endless timeline. All things that mean so much more darting from my tongue and out into this room tonight. The last time I was in the oven, it was the last party I went to. New Year's night. Not too long after the world was filled with broken bottles and broken promises of a new year. I had them drop me off back home because I wanted to work on art. And that's all the past 6 months have been. The ride home was quiet and I didn't say much. But in my head I knew I was done with them. Divorced from it. So we pulled up to my house. And I was stepping out of the oven, finally feeling free.